WWE is home to some of the most high-octane and exciting entertainment you can find. While we all watch in awe at the explosive action or the captivating characters of the wrestling world, you have to wonder just how it's all put together. Sure, many fans know that wrestling is fake. Sure, we all know that people are working on the show behind the scenes. But there are still little secrets here and there that help to keep everything together, as well as add a little bit of magic to the overall spectacle of the show. So today, let us dive into the hidden things that the WWE doesn't want you to know. Number 10. Get a haircut. If you actually analyze the biggest names in WWE history, then you might notice one thing a lot of them have in common. Sure, it's easy to see that they all have those big muscles and impressive movesets, but you also might notice that a lot of them have some pretty long hair. Shawn Michaels, AJ Styles, The Undertaker, Triple H, and more all seem to keep their hair at shoulder length, and it's for good reason. As they compete in the ring, WWE superstars have been able to secretly talk to each other in order to communicate what moves they perform next. Well, with long hair, it's actually a lot easier for them to do so, since they can hide their face from the audience and talk to their opponent in secret. So next time you see AJ Styles hiding behind his hair, take a second to see if you can hear what he's saying. You might be able to predict what happens next. Number 9. Everyone counts, even those who aren't here. WWE has become a bit obsessed in recent years with breaking records. Roman Reigns appears to be heading for 1,000 days as world champion. The Usos just broke the record as the longest reigning tag team champions in WWE history. Gunther is looking to break the Honky Tonk Man's record as the longest reigning intercontinental champion. But WWE also does its best to break attendance records everywhere it goes. Who can forget WrestleMania 3's incredible attendance record with over 93,000 fans in attendance? Well, what you might find shocking is that this number is almost entirely inaccurate. While it may look like over 90,000 fans have jam-packed into the arena, the real number is actually closer to 80,000 according to many reports. In fact, WWE does this all the time. So many shows have gone down in WWE history as record-breaking shows, only for fans to figure out that they actually fudged the numbers. Number 8. The power of the referee. With WWE being more of a TV show than an actual competition, fans might wonder just how important the referee is. He's just a guy in a striped shirt standing around, right? Well, that's where you're wrong. You see, in WWE, referees are actually really important to the production of the show. They usually have an earpiece in, able to hear any of the other producers of the show so that they can be given important information. That way, they can tell the wrestlers things like sudden changes, how much time they have left, and when they're cut into commercial break. Number 7. Not so live. WWE is widely known for being an exciting live form of entertainment. The action in the ring is in front of a live audience with these high-impact moves happening in real time. Most of the time, the backstage segments of a WWE event are also filmed in real time as well, which we've seen proof of with live disruptions actually ruining a backstage segment, such as a fan running into frame just as Batista is getting ready for his match. However, despite this live and unpredictable setting of a WWE ring, there are those times when WWE decides to give their performers just that extra room to breathe. That's right, sometimes WWE decides that even they can create some pretty complicated segments, so they've been known to actually have some segments filmed in advance. Segments such as choreographed backstage brawls, dark and creepy promos, and most segments featuring a famous celebrity are pre-taped before the show even starts. Number 6. Stop monkeying around in gorilla position. Gorilla position, as it's commonly known as, is the little room right before the main entrance stage where wrestlers and production crew all hang around in preparation for the next match. For most of the time, it's where you can see people like Vince McMahon during the show, as he runs production in that space. However, Vince has always been very strict about wrestlers hanging around in gorilla position, so much so that there's an official rule created to keep them out of the room unless it's specifically time for them to be there, like right before their entrance music plays. Don't even think about hanging around if you don't want to get on Vince's bad side. Number 5. Show up, no matter what. WWE has over 100 active performers on the main roster, and while that might seem like a lot, with a wide array of different characters to play with, it actually has proven to be almost too much for the WWE to handle. Most of the time, it seems to be the same 20 to 30 people occupying each show, with WWE choosing to only feature their most people acts like Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns week in and week out. But for guys like Akira Tozawa and Cedric Alexander, they've struggled to find find themselves as featured stars on Raw and SmackDown every week. But even though they're likely not to be featured on the show, those underutilized stars are still expected to show up week in and week out. Yep, they still have to leave their families every day just to find themselves eating catering in the back. And for many, this can be very frustrating. Imagine having to fly out hundreds of miles away from your family just to end up not even working. Number 4. Cheer or boo. No matter one. WWE superstars are some of the most popular athletes in the world. When a superstar like Sami Zayn or Bianca Belair enters the arena, the crowd tends to come unglued as they scream out in joy. However, if you look a bit closely at the crowd, then you might find that sometimes the sounds you hear don't match what you see with your very own eyes. How can a crowd scream in joy when it appears that they're just sitting on their hands? Well, that's because WWE actually likes to pipe in crowd noise to match the narrative they're telling. When Roman Reigns was getting booed out of the building during the mid-2010s, WWE hated it because all they wanted was for the crowd to love the big dog. So WWE just piped in cheers to make the viewers at home think of Roman as the biggest hero on the roster. This also worked the other way, with some of the biggest bad guys in WWE getting cheered by the crowd, as WWE stifled in as many boos as possible on the live feed. Number 3. Royal Fumble. January is every wrestling fan's favorite time of the year, and for good reason. At the end of every January comes the start to the road of WrestleMania. And what exciting event kicks off this trip towards the granddaddy of them all? Well, the Royal Rumble match. 30 people enter the ring, and only one person leaves with a golden ticket for WrestleMania. Surprise returns, shocking debuts, and satisfying victories can usually be found during this match. It's a perfect combination of everything wrestling fans love, apart from one. In 1988, the Royal Rumble match was pitched to Vince McMahon, and he initially hated the concept. And this was even before they added the WrestleMania stipulation. However, Vince was eventually convinced into trying out the match by television executives, and after seeing the concept unfold, the match was added to the large library of WWE match stipulations before evolving into what we see today. Number 2. Weapons are dangerous. Sometimes. Folding chairs, wooden kendo sticks, barbed wire baseball bats, and more can all be found under a WWE ring. And for the most part, those are all real. That's right. WWE superstars go out of their way to hit each other with very real objects for maximum damage. However, sometimes those weapons have actually been tampered with. These are paid performers after all, so we don't actually want to see them hurt. So, for a lot of these weapons, they're actually just props that have been adjusted to fit their needs. Tables, for example, are reinforced so that wrestlers can easily go through them. Have you ever tried to put someone through a table? Well, I can tell you, it's pretty hard. Number 1. WWE superstars pay for everything. As a WWE superstar, you are expected to travel all around the world for your job, as you continuously throw yourself into the mat for the sake of entertainment. While many of the wrestlers hired by the WWE are there to follow their childhood dreams, it's arguable that the wear and tear left on your body might not be worth it. Getting injured is almost inevitable in this business, so you have to imagine that WWE are paying some pretty hefty hospital bills every time one of their competitors get hurt, right? Well, you'd unfortunately be wrong. Since WWE superstars are still technically labeled independent contractors, the company itself doesn't have to pay for any of that. So, if a wrestler falls off of a ladder and takes a nasty spill to the hard floor on the outside, it's them who has to pay for that hospital bill. Not only that, but plane rides, gas for fuel, and hotel rooms are also paid for by the wrestler themselves. Sure, top stars like Roman Reigns don't have to worry too much about their finances these days, but the undercard guys have to pay some pretty serious attention to their bank account for the sake of doing what they love. Is that right? No, but that's just what it's like as a WWE superstar. However, if you want to see what it's like as a fan of this channel, then why not subscribe to join our little family of pro wrestling fans? Be sure to like the video and leave a comment as to what else you want us to cover. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.